Oh, the cookies, like with a little tiny small question here. Do you believe in a one or two state solution in regards to the settlements? Whew. Okay. So, easy question. Thank you, the cookie. Um, I will say this. First of all, it's not really my place to tell Palestinians or Israelis, for that matter, how they want to solve their decades-old conflict. So it's not really my place to decide whether it's one or two states. But if you ask me, or if they ask me, what is the best possible scenario for peace, I believe that the two-state solution is not a very good idea. I think it'll become just one more element of control, where the Palestinian state will be incorporated unevenly into the community of nations. So it will presumably have sovereignty, but it will be disarmed, and it will have like its security will be managed by Israel, right? So the problem the problem there is that it will depend on Israel to decide when the Palestinian state is ready to be fully incorporated into the world as a fully fledged state, right? And I just think that the answer to the question is to the question of when will the Palestinian state be ready to become a full member of the international community will be never. So Israel will retain its right to use force inside Palestine whenever it feels that Palestine is not doing enough to control the threat of terrorism. So the two-state solution will become, just like Oslo, another control mechanism for Israel to do whatever it wants inside Palestine, with the veneer of, now, well, I'm doing it with the consent of the state of Palestine. We signed a deal that said that I had control over its external security, so I get to bomb Palestine now with the consent of the bombed. So I don't think that the two-state solution would solve anything. I think the two-state solution would entrench the conflict even further and not lead to a practical solution at all. So I am more in favor of a two-state solution, of a one-state solution. Um, Arguably, I would say one that looks more like Northern Ireland and Ireland than anything else. I don't like drawing borders on maps. So I feel like we have the entire area of mandatory Palestine. Anyone who lives in that area needs to be protected in their, individual and national, religious, and collective rights. So if you want to, you know, live your Jewish faith in that territory, you should 100% be allowed. If you want to visit the temple, you should be allowed. If you are Muslim and you want to live as a Muslim, you should be allowed, and you should be able to visit the Al-Aqsa Mosque. All sides should be protected, and the point is, where that border is between the Muslims and the Jewish, just like Northern Ireland, the border between the Catholics and the Protestants, it shouldn't matter. What should be protected, what should be the home, the national home of Jewish people, is that place where they have the absolute right to live their Jewishness. And the national home of Palestinians should be that place where Palestinians are absolutely free to live in self-determination, their Palestinianness. Where in the map those areas are is less relevant, in my opinion. So I would Northern Ireland, Israel-Palestine. That's my view. It's the only way to secure both the collective rights of Israelis and the collective rights of Palestinians in ways that don't entrench the kind of the kind of unequal dynamics that we see today because of Oslo. So you would have Israel-Palestine as a, I don't know, kind of like a complex state where different groups coexist. So that would be my approach. And I don't know if this is something that can happen in the short term, but that should be the goal, in my opinion.